Landmark housing legislation has passed in the Senate.
Now, Virginia Senator Mark Warner is breaking down how that legislation is going to help the housing market. Madison Schlegel has more.
The Road to Housing Act has 40 provisions to help make housing and housing regulation more affordable. But one mortgage lender in Virginia Beach says that right now the biggest issue for the industry is housing supply. Trish Coffey is a mortgage lender based out of Virginia Beach, and she says their offices have seen a dip in housing supply.
We haven't had a balanced market in Hampton Roads since 2015. So there is an affordability issue. We need to make it easier for the builders to build more affordably so that they're not having to build these McMansions all the time.
But Coffey adds leaders should also focus on putting aside funds for first-time home buyers.
We do have local grants, we do have programs, but they're restrictive.
The Road to Housing Act comes at the same time as leaders like Governor Abigail Spanberger are working to make housing more affordable. And even though the bills are bipartisan, Senator Warner says there's still stability needed for housing organizations like HUD.
This is a process improvement, but the housing funds that we still need, we still have to argue about in the budget process. So I'm going to continue to support those programs. I want to continue to look at expanding the low-income tax credit.
But Senator Mark Warner says the Road to Housing Act will now pave the way for housing supply to meet housing demand.
It's not going to solve the whole housing crunch, but it is finally an example of a bipartisan willingness to take a series of ideas that can jumpstart housing supply.
Senator Warner says if the act is passed by the House, it could become law by 4th of July. Madison Schlegel, 13 News Now.